Coming up next, On the Spot. Indie Pub drops by with a demo of Vessel on the PC. Chris Waters shows off some Bit.Trip Saga on the 3DS. And the crew drops in for a little Gears of War 3 multiplayer. Speaking of Gears, we'll run the latest GUNSHOW, get the latest digital downloads, watch an exclusive trailer for Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, and check out Crysis on consoles. We're live and on the spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On the Spot. I'm your host, Chris Waters, here on Thursday, September 22nd. We are back in the GameSpot studios after weeks abroad, and joining me on the set are John and Martin from Strange Loop Games, an independent developer up in Seattle and apparently Australia, here to show off their new game, Vessel. John, Martin, welcome to the set. Glad to have you guys here.
Chris, good to be
Thanks
here.
for having us.
Yeah, we're excited to jump into the gameplay. We got a pretty lengthy demo coming up here for you folks. So let's set the groundwork so that Martin can jump in, and then we'll just see what Vessel's all about.
All right, so Vessel is a game we're working on. It's a puzzle platformer, and kind of the unique mechanic we have is liquid physics. So we have a lot of simulated liquid in the game, and we use that to form creatures out of it. So you have creatures that are completely composed of simulated liquid, water, lava, different liquids, and then you use that in different ways. You use the properties of the water and the characters of these creatures.
So it's not just liquid flowing from point A to B, it's liquid actually forming creatures, and you're interacting with them to solve puzzles and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. You're bringing to life this liquid in the game. So you play this inventor of these creatures. They're called fluoros. And they're used all over the world for labor because it's cheap to just make a creature out of water, and he can do work for you.
Sure. Well, Martin, why don't you just start it up right now, and we'll take a look at what is happening here. Now, is this sort of looks like a glimpse into the lab where these fluoros are made, perhaps?
Yes, this is the turbine which the main character Arkwright is using to create his fluoros.
So here's Arkwright with his big mutton chop sideburns and his goggles. It's sort of like a, dare I say, steampunk? How do you guys feel about that word? Do you like it? Is it a little
mixed feelings. I mean, because
Yeah.
it comes with a lot of connotations that don't necessarily apply to us, but it does have that style of like lots of detail in the environment, lots of detail in the machines.
Yep, and these sort of ornate machines too.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things we want to go to is contrasting the liquid creatures with these like really detailed ornate machines, and you see all the workings of their insides and everything.
Very cool. All right.
So we start off here. Arkwright's just been locked out of his lab. One of his inventions is one of these fluoros.
Got a little cheeky.
Yeah, locked him out. So you're going back through your lab, going to get equipped, and you kind of encounter all these different creatures that are running around his lab and different inventions he's working on. And we start off kind of getting used to this environment, getting used to the liquid physics we have in the game. It's all simulated interactive.
Taking a few showers.
That's right, take a quick shower, run through these. And the whole game is built on this physics simulation, so everything is, all the puzzles and everything are based on this simulation we do.
And so we're seeing here, I mean, just in a little S-curve, you see that water falls on you, it sort of pushes off to the side. If water hits you in the face, you can sort of block it from going in a direction. You can stamp it and spray it out to the sides. It seems like this physics engine you're talking about is pretty robust.
Yeah, it all behaves kind of how you would expect liquid to, and then we have lots of different kinds of liquid with different properties to it. So you'll encounter like lava, which is going to be thicker, and drippier. We have ones that are like glowing in the dark that affects the lighting, things like that. So we really want to make the physics the center of this game. A lot of games do physics, and it's something interesting to look at. It's like a nice visual thing, but we want to make it a core of the gameplay. What can you really do with this kind of power you have with PCs?
You can turn some switches first off. Now, let's mention this. Martin's playing with an Xbox 360 controller, but we are running this on a PC. But that's not the only platform you guys are developing Vessel for.
That's right, yep, we'll be on Xbox, PC, and PS3 is the plan.
Good. So all you folks out there can plan to, plan for your platform of choice. Now looks like he's manipulating some buttons and really doing harm to a fluoro down there.
Yeah, that one, he was kind of in their way. He had to take him out. I mean, the fluoros are an interesting role in this game. They kind of have a dual purpose in that they're both the main problem in the game, but you're their inventor. You use these things, So it's kind of ambiguous whether they're a good guy or a bad guy. They're more like a force of nature that you're trying to understand.
You try to corral them a little bit, but they can also get in your way and muck things up for you.
Yeah, so this part here, we've picked up a seed. So one of these, when you have with these seeds, you can drop them into any liquid and it'll form the creature on the spot. And there's a lot of interesting properties of these seeds that we use in puzzles. So like this fountain here, we can drop one. It'll form a creature.
And then stomp the creature to bits. Hey!
Yeah.
But that seed can be used again and again?
Yeah, you have unlimited seeds. And you're only limited by the amount of liquid, so you kind of have this power to bring life to any liquid you see in the game. That's your main resource.
And right here, there's plenty of liquid, but it's easy to imagine a time when there will be limited liquid.
Yeah, or sometimes there's liquid you can't access. You need to solve some puzzle to get to it, or you need to use the help of these fluoros to get you there. So most of the puzzles revolve around bringing to life this liquid in a way that's going to help you in some way, knowing the properties of the liquid, knowing how these creatures act, and using that combination.
Does the property of the liquid affect the behavior of the fluoro that you make it from? Like, can you make a fluoro out of lava?
Yes, you can. That's one of the puzzles, actually, so that's probably a spoiler I just gave you. But yes, you can make it out of any type of liquid. And they keep their same behaviors, but they also keep the properties of these liquids. So if you have one made out of water and you have one made out of lava and they collide into each other, it's going to create steam, just naturally as part of the simulation. And so once you kind of understand these properties of the liquid, you understand the behaviors of these creatures, you can use them to do what you need to do. So here we have to drop a couple seeds down to the sides. We can't access these areas on the left or right, but we can bring to life that liquid and let it do it for us.
Drop some seeds down there and hope the fluoros help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
This is quite a layer that, what's the protagonist's name again?
Arkwright.
Arkwright? He's a busy guy.
Yeah, the story is that these fluoros are used all over the world, and it's really funded all his future research and everything. Kind of the arc of the game is this other invention he's going to be working on, this grand device, which you see later in the game. And so as you're going to these work sites where these fluoros are used and you're trying to fix these problems, you'll find evolutions of these fluoros. They're starting to change and adapt to their environment, and you can collect them and add them to your arsenal in a respect.
So you go to sites where fluoros are acting up, so you're like the on-site tech support kind of for your invention?
Pretty much, yeah. These are like abandoned work sites that the fluoros have taken over. They're too dangerous for people, so Arkwright's got to go in there. He understands best how these creatures work and fix the problem, solve it. So
definite emphasis on puzzle here in this puzzle platform.
Yeah, so here's a good example of a puzzle. So in the previous couple of levels, you've been using these seeds, and you've kind of seen how they operate. They have this attraction to water. So here you need to get access to that water and put a seed in it, but you can't do it. It's going in that pipe. But if you place one up here, it'll actually bend it.
Oh, so the seeds just aren't. It's a mutual attraction between seeds and water.
Exactly, yeah. And that's something we never explicitly tell you in the game. Like, here's seeds, they attract water. We kind of let you see that through
the examples
through the previous uses of the seeds, and so then you bend it around these pipes and you're able to get access to that liquid.
I guess that's a challenge when you're making a puzzle game like this. How much do you tell and how much do you show?
Totally, yeah, and we try to err on the side of showing or letting them do much more than telling. Like, we try to avoid any telling at all besides basic stuff like how to use the controls. And really just introducing them to this world a step at a time and just bringing them in and letting that be part of the puzzle, is understanding how these things interact with each other. So here we see lava.
Which totally kills you.
Which, yeah, do not step in. And you see some of the interaction you get between these two liquids. So he's got this backpack that lets you spray water and suck up water in the level, and you can hose down this lava, make a safe path for yourself.
A platform at least for a little while. Okay, so we see in the top left corner, that's the water level in his pack. But it looks like there's a couple other levels there.
Yeah, those are other types of liquid you get later in the game. There's a glowing liquid, and there's a couple other ones I won't go into right now, but so there's various different types you get, and each of them have different properties, and there's different chemicals and things, and they all interact with each other in specific ways. So understanding those is a big part of the puzzles, and understanding how to use their powers.
Very neat.
Let's go to the next lava one.
Now let's talk about, you guys are from the studio Strange Loop Games. You founded this studio a couple years ago, right?
That's right, yeah.
And so when you founded the studio, did you have this game in mind, or what led to that creation?
Yeah, we did. It originally started as kind of a hobby project. Like, I was interested in physics and you know, what can you do with physics besides just interesting stuff to look at? What can you make of gameplay? Besides
just blow things up and see, you know,
see all
the shrapnel splatter
yeah.
real good.
So that was kind of the drive for this game, and it started off as that. It started off as an experimenting with physics and simulation with liquid and stuff like that. And we just kept working on it, and eventually it got to the point where it looked like something we could make a pretty cool game out of. So here's a good example of you need to make these creatures out of different types of liquids. So first you can make it out of water, but he goes down to this lava thing and he gets fried. But once you get the idea that, oh, maybe I can make it out of this different type of liquid, you make a lava one, and you
drop the seed down in there, and there you go.
It's one of those aha moments that we try to put in the game. And demoing at PAX, that was one of my favorite ones to show, because people would like try over and over with the water. You know, they're trying to spray it down there, but it's like they would you can see the moment where they have a revelation. It's like, wait a minute, I can just put it right in the lava. So that's what we're going for with these puzzles. Not making them physically hard to do, but just putting together pieces that you already know.
Now, was PAX the first time that you guys showed Vessel off to the public?
No, we actually showed a prototype version about 1.5 years ago at IGF, the Indie Game Festival.
Oh, great.
We were in the finals for that. The game's changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
We've been funded by then since IndiePub, and we've managed to.
Congratulations! That must have been a pretty awesome experience to enter it into the IGF, get recognition, and then.
Definitely, yeah. There's so much creativity in the IGF. It was great to be part of that, and got us enough attention that we were able to start building up a fan base and start getting like publishers interested in us, and we're able to put a team together and really make the game that we wanted to make. So it's getting close to being done now.
Wow.
So here, this puzzle here, you have to
that fluoro just
fry
got
that fluoro
totally
with lava.
nailed by that lava.
Yes. So this scene is the purpose of what you're in. You're in these. This is a factory you're in. You're trying to take care of this problem with the fluoros. They've overrun this engine here, and you need to basically clear them out and suck them off that button or whatever, and let this thing fill back up with lava. Restore the machines to working order. So kind of fixing this environment. So you go through the level, fixing all these different engines, and eventually let you get to the final room.
Okay. So the fluoros don't actually pose a threat to you. You can just vacuum them up real quick?
Some of them do. Like the ones that are made out of water are easy enough to squish or kill, but like if you have one made out of lava, he's going to be a lot more hazardous to you.
Yes.
You can't control that, and he can splash and like flow on you.
Your tank does not hold lava, I imagine?
Doesn't hold lava, no. So.
Well, very cool. That's the end of our demo here, folks. John and Martin, it said there right on the screen, coming this winter. Is that still when you're planning your release?
That's our plan, yes. Sometime after Christmas we're looking at.
Very exciting. Congratulations on making it this far with your project, and we look forward to seeing it more, hopefully, in the coming months before release, hearing more about it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us.
All right, much appreciated. All right, folks, that ends our first demo of the day, and we're off to a tape segment while we queue up another independent game for you to take a look at here on the Spot.
Hello, and welcome to your GameSpot news update for Thursday, September 22nd. Tom Magrino here to provide you with a look at the very best of news for the week, delivered without a crazy British accent. We learned the reason why Netflix jacked up its subscription rates this week. The company has effectively split itself in two. The on-demand movie streaming half, that is to say the half that Netflix feels still has a future, that will retain the Netflix name. And then there's the Netflix's DVD by mail service, which will henceforth be known as Quickster. And while it appears as if Netflix is setting up this division to escort the DVD by mail service to its final and bitter end, it'll at least have games added to the mix. When the service launches in a few weeks, gamers can pay a bit extra to rent Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii games. Although, considering game streaming is gaining traction, it's a shame Netflix won't be going the OnLive route. In other news, a study out of Nottingham Trent University and Stockholm University has found a new way to label gamers as crazy. Yay! The study claims to have discovered what it has termed game transfer phenomena, a psychological state that occurs when players integrate elements of video game playing into real life by way of thoughts, sensations, and actions. More plainly said, GTP, as it is known among people in the know, occurs when someone who plays video games sees, say, a health bar over another person's head, or begins tapping a imaginary button to open a car door. Ineffectually, I might add. I don't know. I thought we just called the stuff dementia. But video games are involved. Let's go dramatic! Anyway, that does it for today. For more on these stories and other news headlines, head on over to news.gamespot.com.
3DS. Hey folks, we are back, and joining me on stage here is Marko Djordjevic. We are cooking up some Bit.Trip Saga for you next. Marco's going to grab the 3DS. I think you can. Yeah, you are. Totally. He's also going to get a microphone put on him. Warner, do you want to come out here and help him with that? Or, anyways, so we're going from one independent game to the next. This one, we just took a look at Vessel, and now we're looking at Bit.Trip Saga for the 3DS. Now, the Bit.Trip series, if that sounds familiar to you, it's because over the past 2.5 years, the Bit.Trip games have been released on WiiWare and some on Steam as well. These are sort of 8-bit retro-styled games with a great musical component and sort of a rhythm-based gameplay. And we're going to take a look at them now. Marko has never played them before, to my knowledge.
I'm dying, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do.
All right, so what you're doing here as Commander Video in Bit.Trip Runner is running. And you figured out how to jump.
I did.
Great. Now keep jumping over pits, such as that one. And, you know, also, so this is one of the 6 games included in Bit.Trip Saga. Here you're playing as Commander Video. You're pressing B to jump, and you're doing a great job of it. Pretty soon you might need to duck, which is down on the D-pad.
Okay.
And you might also need to, no, you pretty much probably be set with jump at this point. So Bit.Trip Saga includes all 6 Bit.Trip games. And in this one, it's just a platformer. You keep running all the time, and as you folks can hopefully hear, the music keeps playing in the background regardless of whether you're dying or succeeding. Every little obstacle you jump or pickup that you grab adds a little chime to the musical soundtrack, and grabbing those red pluses that Marko just grabbed a little bit earlier will sort of elevate the soundtrack to the next level. And just so it becomes this rich and, you know, increasingly complex musical soundscape type deal that really helps create this connection between you and the game. Now, Marko, I know you can't hear it.
I can kind of hear it in the background. There we go.
There we go. Now we can hear it a little more out here. It sounds weird, though. This doesn't sound right. This is definitely, something is wrong with the audio if that's what you guys are hearing. But we're playing with this special 3DS unit. It's a little tricky to get the hang of. So hopefully you folks are hearing it okay. All right, Marko, we've seen enough of this stage of Bit.Trip Runner. Let's quit out and show the folks another game. I really appreciate you stepping in here, by the way.
No
Marko
worries.
was, by the way, before, so press B and we'll go back to the selection screen.
Okay.
Marko was just standing backstage and our regularly scheduled guest here has not shown up.
So which one should I take?
All right, so let's do, you folks can't see, but it's a pretty quick selection screen. Let's try
Beat,
Fate.
Core,
Fate. Yeah, so it's the bottom left. And I have a stylus in my pocket for you because you're going to need it. Here you go.
Okay. Oh, no.
So just go ahead and start Fate. You're going to want to switch hands so you get your thumb on the circle pad. And
But I'm a lefty.
oh, maybe you can...
I'll learn.
It's just back and forth because you're on rail.
Okay.
On a rail, right? So with each Bit.Trip game, they change the gameplay formula, and they end up wildly different. So as you'll see here, Marko, tap the 1, and then press, or actually, so on the bottom screen, move like the bottom screen is mapped to the top screen. There you go. So now just press A to confirm. Now you touch the bottom screen, and it's going to correspond to exactly to the spot on the top screen where you want to shoot. But we can watch this real quick, and you folks might recognize Super Meat Boy hanging out in there, making a guest appearance. There's this nice little camaraderie between the developers of these indie games. Maybe you've heard of the Humble Indie Bundle on Steam, or other characters appearing. Commander Video actually appears in Super Meat Boy as well. So there's sort of a nice little community sharing aspect you get a little taste of. But what you do here now, Marco, is just move forward and back. That's all you can do. And don't move too far forward because you also have to shoot all those bad guys. So yeah, just hold it down and there you go. And don't get hit by the projectile. And you'll be all good. So now each enemy that you vanquish, oh, that sounds a little bit better, although we had to endure some strange video business, but it's looking good right now. Yeah, there you go, Marco. And as you gain the power-ups here, which automatically drop right onto the line, watch out, that drill guy will totally drop on your head if you don't move quickly. Oh, get that power-up. Go, go, go. Faster. Yeah, Junior Melchkin, whatever that is. So this is a power-up, obviously. It changes how you're shooting and gives you a little extra oomph in order to better help you vanquish your foes. So initial impressions, Marco, a little easier for you to pick up than runner here?
Not exactly, because I am left-handed, so holding the stylus in my right hand is a little awkward.
I gotta say you're doing a pretty good job.
Well, beginner's luck, I'm gonna just,
pretty good. I mean,
that.
you're also running into some projectiles, but it's tough. You're on the spot for the first time.
Yeah, this is also my first time on the spot, so.
And your first time live on the spot? I don't believe that. Weren't you live? Weren't you here before?
No, never live. I've done tape segments and I did the Japan one last week.
That's right, you were in Tokyo.
Yes.
You were back from that adventure and now you're saving yourself from the brink of destruction. Every time you get hit by projectiles in this game, it brings you closer to death.
Now I just collected a Meat Boy. What does that do?
So you can see that your projectile has changed, and Meat Boy's projectile will shoot through enemies and can damage multiple enemies, and also does a little bit more damage than your normal thing.
Cool.
And I gotta say, lefty, no lefty, you've made some pretty good avoids here. You're doing a pretty solid job of surviving. Now, this is Bit.Trip Saga, the completed works of Bit.Trip, but it has a Wii counterpart for those of you who are maybe more familiar with the series from the Wii, called Bit.Trip Complete. In Bit.Trip Complete, there's a few more bells and whistles, like an easy difficulty mode. All right, why don't you back out to the main menu again? We'll try one out real quick. Bit.Trip Complete has a few more bells and whistles. It has an easy difficulty mode, which doesn't actually change the gameplay. It just makes the punishment for failure less severe, so you can play longer. And it actually is very welcome because these games can get very tricky. You're seeing Marco play the very early stages, but the later stages are these complex they demand feats of timing and precision that that can require a lot of trial and error, perseverance, and maybe some cursing if that's sort of how you roll.
So what do you want to try next?
Let's go for your lefty. So what's going to be? You want to hold the stylus. Well, go for Flux. That's the last one in the series. You can hold the it's all stylus, but you can hold it in whichever hand you want.
All right.
So we'll let you switch it up. Now, Flux is the last game in the 6-game arc, and it sort of mirrors Bit.Trip Beat, which was the first game. And you control a paddle on one side. You're going to control a paddle. I'm actually explaining it to you folks as I explain it to Marco, who's going to play. This is a novel experience. So by moving up and down, you control the paddle, and your job is to just reflect the projectiles back to the other side. So, boom, just do that. That's all you're going to need to do. You just did it in the level select, and now we're going to watch another quick little abstract cutscene. The Bit.Trip series has these cutscenes. We saw the one earlier with Meat Boy and Commander Video, but and this one kind of has Meat Boy in it too, right? That little cube.
Yeah, the one on the top right now.
Yeah. The Bit.Trip series sort of tracks this this sort of abstract arc, which is very unclear during these kind of inscrutable cutscenes. You are left a lot is left to the imagination. In Bit.Trip Complete, you can read about more about like what's behind each game and the developers, sort of what their idea was conceptually, which gives you a little bit more of a handhold to grab onto. I'm sure you can find them online though if you get Saga. There you go. And so now you're just using the stylus to move the paddle up and down and reflecting these little bits. And they pulse in shape, but they're still a reflectable bit, and they're going to come in various patterns and speeds. And now that we've got the music going, you can really hear how it's, the bits don't only make noise when they hit your paddle, they make noise when they exit the screen back on the left. Give you a second to listen to that. Yeah, Marco. Now you may be looking at the background here and thinking like, oh, 3DS, that could be pretty cool. I'm gonna see it like arcing away from me in the background. That looks kind of neat. The 3D actually does not do these games very well. They look, the contrast and the colors are just brilliant in 2D, but when you go 3D, it makes them a little fuzzier. And if you like slide your hand ever so slightly during the maybe 10 minutes it would take to beat this level, then your 3D image starts to go ever so slightly out of sync, which makes it that much more difficult to see the bits. It's not terribly difficult, but it's enough on the tough levels to make it a little bit challenging in a bad way. Not challenging in the good way that this game is challenging. But not every game on the 3DS has to rock the 3D really well, right, Marco?
That's true.
Do you believe that, or do you think that like 3D should be?
Well, you are buying the 3DS for the 3D, so perhaps you do want some 3D in your games.
And it's there. It's just, you know, not the best. And so you notice the aesthetic just changed, and the word in the upper left-hand corner went to Ultra. That's because Marco's doing so well. He got busted back down to Super because, you know, he missed some. But that's okay.
Ooh.
You're doing a pretty solid job. Pretty nice, I gotta say.
I like the music.
I just like went into a little moment there, really enjoying the music. But now, since Marco's in purgatory, there is no music beyond the beeps of him desperately clinging to life, which he's doing pretty well. There you go, way to bring the soundtrack back. Nice.
Do what I can.
Now, folks, stick around for later in the show because we are giving away some trivia, and we are going to be featuring a game that is decidedly not an independent developed game, or you wouldn't call it an indie game. Gears of War 3, we're going to get a bunch more GameSpot editors out here to play that game, and I don't know if you caught a glimpse of this locust head here, but you could win it and horrify all your friends and family. All right, Marco.
Yes.
Time to die perilously.
Well, you want me to die?
Yeah, I think it's over.
Sorry.
Oh, he's too good. Can't even die on purpose. Come on, stop being so good.
Okay.
Resist your gamer reflex.
Okay, I've
Yes.
stopped.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna. Oh, the horror, the death. It is coming. Oh, and there it goes. Wait, what?
I didn't do anything.
Press start and pause this. We're out of here. That's Bit.Trip Saga, folks. It's available for the 3DS. Its counterpart, Bit.Trip Complete, is available for the Wii. Each one costs $40, so it's a deal for the Wii, but it's, you know, just normal price for the 3DS. The Wii one also comes with a cool soundtrack. Marco.
Yes.
Up top. That was a noble effort, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you being game for that. We're going to have you stick around and play a game you're a little more familiar with, Gears of War 3.
Yes.
And in the meantime, we're going to take a look at another first-person shooter that's becoming available to on a new platform. Yes, folks, it is Crysis. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, and welcome to today's demo. Today we've got Crysis for consoles, and joining us is Miles of Crytek. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So Miles, we're looking at Crysis for consoles. This is not to be confused with Crysis 2, which came out earlier this year on the PC and consoles. This is actually the original Crysis from 2007, which was a PC exclusive that really took computers of the day and brought them to their knees.
Absolutely, this is the whole Crysis 1 experience come to PS3 and 360.
Right.
And it's the whole wide-spreading, far-reaching sort of grand-scale maps. It's the superb graphics. It's the nanosuit brought to console with the new nanosuit 2 controls, like Crysis 2.
But I think some of the folks at home might be wondering, now that Crysis 2 is already out, it came out earlier this year, why bring the first Crysis game to consoles?
We wanted people to be able to experience the first Crysis game, to be able to follow the storyline, to be able to re-experience it on consoles, especially people who hadn't had a chance to play on PC because they didn't have a powerful enough PC, or they prefer console games. This is bringing the Crysis experience to console.
Okay, great. So I think we have the game up and running here. Why don't we take a look? What do we have here, Miles? Set this up for us.
This is the fourth mission in the game, in the single-player campaign, and it's Assault, and it's where we've been pushing through to fight back the North Koreans and to get to understand what's really going on the island, and to.
So, right. So yeah, I mean that was kind of the mission that the original Crysis game was kind of all about. Started off seeming like this kind of near future military operation, kind of turned into an alien invasion kind of midstream in the story.
Yes.
So we're seeing the first Crysis kind of running on a console, and I think people were really impressed with the first game, the technology behind it. I think a lot of us, myself included, in 2007 when we first saw the game, thought, how could this game ever run on a console? We're seeing something that looks really, really good here running off an Xbox 360. Tell us about how we were able to get a game that technically demanding onto a console.
It was a huge challenge. We had a lot of things still on many fronts. We had the memory. The memory was a huge problem to start with, and then the performance, getting it up to speed, as well as pushing the graphics and making it look great. We had a huge jump start from CryEngine 3 and from the work that the guys did on Crysis 2 to bring it to consoles. And then we just had to treat the specifics of Crysis and get that running. The large-scale maps, for instance, were the big problem. Coping with the streaming system, well, the memory was the biggest concern, though, getting that to film console.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing one of the things that I think the first Crysis game was very famous for was these big open-ended environments with lots of jungle terrain. Can you tell us about how Crytek was able to take all this kind of foliage, all the trees, and all the bushes and stuff, and really get that to work in the console game?
We had to spend a lot of time looking into specific optimization techniques. To do with the placement of the vegetation, to do with the assets themselves. The artists spent a lot of time trimming down the excess bits from them just to optimize them, and in most cases they took assets and actually made them look better for this version of the game. And it was a broad effort across all the departments to try and push to make this happen. It was not just the programming side, but also the art side.
Right. I mean, I would imagine, given that Crysis 2, I guess, was powered by the next rev of Crytek's technology, CryEngine 2. I guess there are probably some lessons learned there from bringing Crysis 2 to consoles. Were we able to take some of that stuff and bring it back to
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. It was. Crysis has its own unique aspects that need pushing, but yes, there's a lot learned from bringing Crysis 2 to consoles.
And so we're seeing now we're kind of leaning pretty hard on that machine gun. It looks like we've got a lot of the kind of the great special effects we saw from the first Crysis, muzzle flare. Particle effects. How much of that stuff were we able to carry over in the console version?
We've kept everything in there. We've had to make adjustments to optimize things to make them fit on. But so many of the effects we've made it better. The lighting has been remastered all across the game, and you can see that the day-night transition is beginning to come into effect here. We've had color grading come in to produce these wonderful-looking visuals. We've had so many changes to the more technical side of the pipeline. More things are happening now in high dynamic range. We've got better screen-to assembly occlusion. We've got better motion blur. There's a specific anti-aliasing system designed just for Crysis with its natural environments. There's been a lot of fronts we've had to work on to push this. And we really feel as though the visuals have actually been taken up to a good level. I mean, we've been surprised how far we've managed to push this, and we're so happy that we've managed to get to this level. We never intended, or never were going to release this unless we could really be happy with this and really take it up to this visual level that people expect from Crysis.
Yeah, this looks really, really good for a console game. So yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, so the team's goal was to get basically kind of a picture perfect or pitch perfect port of the PC version. Was any content cut, or is it all completely all there? Every last mission, every last piece of geometry, every last building. Is it really pretty much all there, the full Crysis experience?
So we decided to take out Ascension, one of the later levels, especially based on fan feedback. They didn't really enjoy it, and we didn't really feel as though it fit in well. So that was removed, but every other level is there and is full and complete and as big and large scale as it was before. We've got all the missions, we've got all the sub-objectives. The rest of the game is there.
But for the folks at home who may not have heard, so this is going to be a port of the single-player game of Crysis, is that correct? The multiplayer is not?
That's right, yes.
Right.
Yeah, we focus on the single-player.
Right. So this is another thing I think that was very impressive about the first Crysis. You didn't maybe hear a lot of people talked as much about was that the AI was really good for the enemies. We had enemy soldiers who would back each other up, who would take cover, who would try to flank you. Tell us about how you guys were able to take the AI from the PC game and kind of cram it onto a console.
Again, it was a big effort went into that. We had a lot of guys working for quite a while, making sure we could deliver the same high-quality experience as people had on PC. One of the things we've had the opportunity to do is fix a lot more bugs in the game as well. The PC game wasn't perfect, it had its flaws, and we spent a lot of time polishing every aspect of it, including the AI, making sure the behaviors are just right and they react really well towards it.
Mm-hmm. Were there any, I mean, the original Crysis, for me, as a PC game player, it was kind of like, the ultimate PC game. It was a first-person shooter that was really technically demanding, that looked fantastic. And for me, I prefer playing my shooters on a mouse and keyboard, so I was very happy to play a game that looked that good with what I consider to be, the superior control scheme. But of course, Crysis 2 came out on both PC and consoles. I'm sure Crytek learned a lot of lessons about, adapting a shooter to, be as fun and enjoyable and responsive on a console controller. Can you talk about some of the lessons that you guys brought from the Crysis 2 control scheme to make the Crysis 1 console port, be a good experience as well?
Sure. I mean, that's something we spent a lot of time doing. We had to adapt the nanosuit to make sure it fit in with Crysis, which is essentially the nanosuit 2 controls from Crysis 2, but we had to tweak all the values, and we had a lot of the design team spending a lot of time making sure they were just right, making sure that the weapon, the aiming speeds were quick enough, the motion speed was good, making sure they just minute by minute, second by second gameplay was just spot on. And we've had to, we worked hard with the controller, just making sure we could fit every action on there we wanted to do. We've introduced a new weapon selection system that allows you to choose more easily the weapons you have available, as well as just a quick toggle from when you last had. But we've kept all the features we had before. We have, all the grenade types you can select, and you can choose all the fire modes. You can have underslung grenade launchers.
And we've got the drivable vehicles as well here.
And drivable vehicles.
Yeah.
And again, time has been spent to make sure they react well. And it was a challenge bringing those elements all into Crysis and the control scheme. And we think we've done a good job with it.
Yeah, so from the looks of it, it's really a very authentic version of the classic 2007 PC game brought home on the consoles. And Miles, for the folks at home, if you can remind us when the game is coming out and for which platforms?
Crysis 1 on console is coming out for 360 and PS3 on October 4th. It's October 5th for PS3 in Europe.
Okay, great. So that was your daily demo of Crysis for consoles. Thanks a lot for watching.
Hey folks, we are back, and that was a look at Crysis, the game that totally blew up all your computers back in the day when you tried to play it and made you wish you could afford a better one. Now we are taking a look at Gears of War 3 because that game totally came out this week, and why else would we have this hideous locust head right here on set? Can you see this thing? Joining me are Marco Georgievich and Tom Magrino on the big red couch.
Hello.
And while they set up to play a little bit of Horde mode in split screen, I'm going to show you this horrible locust head. I mean, horrible in a good way. Look at the detail on this thing. Yes, hello. Yes, I can see all your teeth are shiny and nasty. I'm not just showing this off to you to show you guys that I have like gross crap around my apartment. We're giving this away. This can be the gross crap around your apartment. It's actually like quite robust. One of only 500 made, very limited edition, very detailed. So if you're, if you're into monsters, if you're into Gears of War, stay tuned because we're gonna have the trivia question going for you a little bit later on here. Gentlemen, as this setup, you guys are about to jump in here to check out. Why don't you just go ahead and start. But you guys have been playing a little bit of Gears of War. Are you both really going to be Marcus? Come on.
Oh, fine. I'll be Dominic.
Thank you, Tom Magrino. I appreciate that.
I don't like Dominic. I'm going to be Dominic, but...
But you're going to do it under protest?
Yes.
Okay, noted.
Right.
Now,
Dominic's
Tom,
a wife killer. I don't know. It's hard to get behind a guy like Dominic.
He's a wife mercy killer. There's this very big difference.
He is a wife euthanizer.
Yes.
Okay.
See? It's all in the language.
It is in the language. This sounds much better.
Now, Tom, you and I talked a lot about Gears of War 3 on the hotspot earlier this week.
We did.
And so you folks can hear a lot more about that, but we talked about story in the campaign and sort of what's new this time around and why on earth we saw fit to give it a 9.5.
Right.
Because it got a 9.5.
It got a 9.5. That's not something that happens very often. Oh, we're apparently
No, we don't.
playing.
Okay. That's a quick hotspot plug for you folks to listen to that elaborate conversation later. We are now checking out Horde mode, and this is Horde 2.0 as it's maybe not colloquially, maybe officially. It doesn't say Horde 2.0 when you boot it up, but you guys need to go to a command post, like right here to your left. It's Dom, yes. What you need to do is buy a command post, and now you can buy emplacements around here. Like, sweet. Well, maybe only one of you can, because you don't have a whole lot of money.
Just 500.
Yeah. So
what we need to do is
Marco,
start killing
are you on the top of your market?
Yes.
Great, so you just bought a spike strip. Now that's going to impede any locust that comes along. They're going to have to walk through it, and it's going to damage them and slow them down. You're still going to have to kill them, so you guys kind of want to go hang out by where your spike strip is. The idea here is your survival in Horde mode is going to be improved if you make fortifications, stay in the same area, and sort of get into this rhythm of, okay, this is where they're coming from, and this is how I kill them.
Okay.
And so now they're coming, and they're going to try to kill you. And I'm warning you, I will relentlessly mock you if you die on the first round of Horde mode. You're getting shot. You guys need to kill some locusts. Okay, let's do this. He's right there.
One down.
Turn to your left, Marco. No, yeah.
That's my life.
God, turn around. Turn directly around. There's a locust right there. See him crouched there? Chainsaw. Hold B or shoot, whatever. Just kill somehow.
I'm pretty sure we are being pilloried in the comments.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ah, chainsaw death.
Go, go, go. Wow, slowest chainsaw move ever. But you finally got him. Now, stick with your buddy. Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, nice little execution. Okay. Don't go too far afield.
Oh, who are you? What? No, you died.
There you
Okay,
go.
you succeeded.
All right,
That
you
seemed
survived. I
fairly
don't
easy.
have to.
I just
mock you
realized
so
there's a
bad.
giant screen.
I know, we're looking
I've
at the
been looking at
smaller
the small
scene.
one, like squinting. This will be a lot easier. Round 2 will be
Changes
easier.
everything.
Okay.
I have some money.
So why don't you use your money to build another spike strip that was sort of close to where you thought the enemies were coming?
Okay. How about here?
Sure. Why not?
Why not?
In the early goings of Horde mode, you can only buy these little spike strips, but as you play longer and longer, the spike strips upgrade the more you build, so they turn into like barbed wire, they turn into laser barriers, and you also get access to other stuff like turrets, like decoys.
Like mannequins?
Those mannequins are just environmental, and you can feel free to shoot them. Apparently, they make mannequins out of pretty tough stuff on Sarah. All right, that's a ticker. Marco, I'm sensing you don't have a lot of recent experience with Gears of War, so remember you can pull the left trigger to aim down the sights.
I'm aware of that. But
Okay, and you can press A to get into cover, and you're kind of near your, there you go. You can press D-pad left to switch to the shotgun, if you feel so inclined. Don't stand right next to that guy. Don't stand so close to him. Run away. Yes.
So what I
Very
found
good.
here...
Nope, you ran back.
And now I'm dying.
All right, tap A a lot. Just keep tapping A. Don't even try to move it. Just tap A. Okay. No, in multiplayer, you can tap A to like revive yourself, but E right now, Tom really needs to run over there and revive Marco.
Right.
Oh,
Never mind. He's getting brutally murdered. All right, Tom, you got to survive, and then Marco will respawn.
I can do it. Nope, nope, no I can't.
That was an overstatement.
We may have died a little early.
All right, while these guys bask in their shame,
That was pretty shameful.
take a look at the old rundown here, because I think we're going to take a look at digital downloads next. And while we do that, we're going to try to talk some sense into these gentlemen.
Maybe a little practice.
Maybe a little bit practice.
A little bit.
Maybe, you know, they'll be by Wave 2 by the time you folks come back, so enjoy digital downloads.
Spotters. This is Aaron Sampson bringing you a list of top digital downloads this week on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and Wii Shop channel. New this week on eShop, you can't handle this much 3D with 3D Classics Twin Bee for $4.99. Twin Bee is a vertical scrolling arcade game originally released in Japan. The title involves, among other things, shooting the bells out of clouds. On WiiWare, the science may be a bit sketchy, but you can check out the puzzle platformer Aya and the Cubes of Light for 1,000 Wii points. According to this game, at the center of every star is a pilferable cube that, if taken, turns off the light. That's bad for a number of reasons, and it's up to you to recover a stolen star property and turn the lights back on. On PlayStation Network and Xbox Live Arcade, the studio that brought you Car Crash porn with the wildly successful Burnout Paradise is taking it down a notch with the still fun Burnout Crash for $9.99 or 800 Microsoft points. Who doesn't enjoy plowing through an intersection or wrecking said intersection with a giant lobster or alien saucer? It may be a slight departure from what fans have come to expect in their Burnout games, but we found Crash to be a good time. Literally, 7.0, good time. You can wade into cross-traffic mayhem consequence-free with the demo. On XBLA this week, I hope you brought your Dramamine or my favorite Bonine. GameSpot does not endorse specific drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. For all the spinning you're going to be doing, and Rotastic for 800 Microsoft points. 7 worlds and 70 levels of rotating challenges for up to 4 players should fulfill your weekly needs for casual gaming. Old but newly available this week on PSN, enjoy a remake of a 2010 PSP title with Cubics HD for $9.99. Gather up to 7 friends if you got 'em, and play Deathmatch, where you slice off portions of a square with the goal of trapping your compadres to death, or puzzle your way through 50 levels in arcade mode. Afterwards, grab a game that grabbed Gary Busey to advertise it. It's Saints Row 2 for $19.99. What else do you need to know? Gary Busey adverts and an 8.0 grade score. Oh, also there's Red Faction EDF soldiers, aliens on motorcycles, astronauts jumping out of jets, and an extensive co-op campaign. Try the PC version on GameSpot through OnLive for free. On XBL, scoring at 7.5, it's Major League Baseball 2K11 for $39.99. It's baseball. Do you like baseball? It's baseball. Faring a point worse than baseball with a 6.0, but also involving a bat of sorts, it's Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 for $19.99. Unlike in the first Force Unleashed, where lightsabers were bludgeoning weapons, the sequel allows Starkiller to dice and slice his way through the Empire once again. What we learned in the sequel is that Rancors are for sissies, making out isn't just for Han Solo, and fighting the same enemies over and over again, even if it's just for 5 or 6 hours, is kinda tedious. On both XBL and PSN, not only are these residents not being evicted, but they've been given a license to continue being evil. It's Resident Evil 4 HD for $19.99. Way back on the PS2, this title scored a 9.3 and was given much love for its unique brand of horror. So A, it's exactly the same game, and B, it's in HD. In game demos this week, PSN and XBL get their sports on with NBA 2K12, and WiiWare gets a demo for 3D pixel racing. In new DLC this week, the standout on both XBL and PSN is Fallout New Vegas Lonesome Road for $9.99 or 800 Microsoft points. This DLC brings the Courier story full circle, with you, the Courier, being contacted by the original Courier 6, who makes you walk a hard long road without your companions in order to get some answers. Which, oddly enough, you'll have to do in real life if the Postal Service goes bankrupt. In game trailers this week, you may enjoy on PSN the Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception Gamescom trailer, the Ratchet & Clank All-for-One Weapon Series videos, the Disney Universe Lion King trailer, the Mass Effect 3 Squad Leader trailer, and on XBL, just go ahead and check out the Saints Row the Third Deckers Die trailer. That's all the time we have. Join us next week for our top picks of digital downloads.
Oh, Aaron Sampson, that was delightful. All right, we are back, and I'm proud to say our Intrepid gears have passed Wave 2 and are on to Wave 3. They have built some emplacements and are totally keeping the Locust hordes at bay. Let's take a look. Oh, yes. Nice.
I was tracking Marco. That was my bad.
You know, it's good to keep an eye on moving targets.
You know?
But, you know, some moving targets are more dangerous than others. Oh, he's right there. He's right there. Right on the other side of that cover. Yeah, meat shield. Okie dokie. Turn your back to the guy with the sniper rifle, Magrino. Dangerous.
Is there someone behind me? Yeah. Oh my god. There is a large man behind me.
This is when you probably want to ditch the meat shield and switch to a more powerful gun.
Oh, snap your neck. Sorry.
Switch to your shotgun or something.
I found a Lancer.
Look, lance that guy.
That guy?
That's what you do with a Lancer, right? Lance him?
No.
Okay.
This is what we do to that guy. Does that work?
Whenever that execution happens, I remember this line I remember from some literature I read when I was in high school. It might have been a play or something, I'm not sure.
I just kicked somebody in the ass, so you can continue
and killed him.
With whatever literary reference.
But the phrase was unseamed him from nave to chops.
Okay.
Which basically means like split him open from the belly button to his mouth.
Was that Milton?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think I've read Milton, to tell you the truth. But that's what that Lancer kill is for me, and I always...
From groin to gullet?
Yes. Nice. alliterative even.
Yeah.
Nice work, Tom. You got a ticker biting you.
I want to hurt him.
It's okay.
Oh,
in this game, that kind of thing is encouraged. You can take your aggressions out on these horrible abominations. I mean, that's kind of harsh for a locust, right? They're just scaly people.
No, because they murdered my family. And, well, actually, they murdered my wife.
Yeah, well...
If I'm going to personify a little bit. Technically, she had it coming. Oh, that is true. But they infected her first. They brought me to that.
They made you do it. Nice work.
All right.
Surviving wave 3, getting some cash, and instead of putting you guys to work paying for more stuff, we're going to flip the tables. I want you to boot up some beast mode during this next segment, which is an exclusive trailer, folks. This is always fun. I like to say exclusive because you're going to see it here, you're not going to see it anywhere else. And this is for Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Did I say that right, Tom Magrino?
Yeah, sounds about right. 38 Studios?
Yes. And we've got an exclusive trailer for you folks to enjoy right now.
Amalur is changing. Magic, once lost to the mortal races, has returned to the world. This is the age of Arcana. Order is giving way to chaos and destruction, and the Fate Weavers know that there are none in this world fated to save it. But hope lies in one who has already died, a hero who will embark on a quest to reshape the fate of the world. The legend begins in the Well of Souls, when gnomish scholar Fomerus Hughes finally succeeds in his attempts to restore life to the dead.
The pursuit of immortality. You're the only proof of what we've achieved here.
The hero's search for answers leads to the Fate Weaver Agarth, who sets the hero on a treacherous journey to discover the truth.
Fate's weave is always hard to see, but your path is yours to determine.
Along the path to find truth and meaning, the hero will encounter a number of factions that want to enlist the aid of the Fateless One. The hero may find it advantageous to join one or more of these factions, for they each possess unique knowledge that will help him on his journey. On the surface, the Travelers are a free-roaming society of entertainers and nomads living a carefree existence on the open road.
Ain't no worries in Star Camp. Travelers are the way life should be for a bloke in these lands.
However, they are from a lineage of the finest thieves that ever walked Amalur, and becoming one of the Travelers allows the hero to buy and sell stolen goods, as well as delve into the fine arts of stealth, crime, and subterfuge.
I can part with the daggers for half of what I was asking. I'd rather not get on the bad side of the Travelers.
The Scholia Arcana was formed generations ago. It has since become the central university for all mortals who wish to study the practice of magic.
We have a responsibility to know what these forces are, so that we may better control it.
A student who shows sufficient talent is granted access to the libraries of the Scholia Arcana, where they may study the arts of sagecraft, dispelling, and alchemy.
My suspicions regarding your potential were well-founded.
The once proud and noble warriors of the Warsworn are now known as the finest and fiercest hired swords in the Phalanx.
A mercenary sells a sword without honor. The Warsworn sell honor, armed for battle.
The name of the Warsworn strikes fear into the hearts of enemies throughout the land. Once proven in battle, a Warsworn pledge has access to skills, weapons, and training that cannot be found elsewhere.
I've trained, I've dreamed. I will join the Order.
Amalur is host to more than just mortal man and their factions. The world is riddled with other races with numerous alliances from the studious gnomes to the immortal Fae. Long ago, the Fae split into two courts, each with many houses. In the Summer Court, the House of Ballads is the keeper of songs and lore.
The house ensures those defining tales are never forgotten.
In these dark times, a hero is needed to relive the tales of old and continue the song. Meanwhile, in the Winter Court's House of Sorrows, few follow the old ways, and for the first time in living memory, the House of Sorrows will welcome an outsider into their ranks.
It is not a simple task I ask of you. We need someone who understands that.
But even the immortal Fae are helpless against the forces that are rising in Amalur. A twisted new sect from within the Winter Court, the Tuatha. The Tuatha grow in power, driven by their strange new god toward the destruction of all mortal life. They are warriors, priests, and zealots who worship the god under the mountain and obey only Gadflow, their malevolent leader. For the first time in the history of the world, Fae have marched to war against the young races, and after a long decade of conflict, it seems that the Tuatha will emerge victorious. The rise of magic has upset the balance in Amalur, and the world teeters on the brink of chaos. Death has freed the hero from the bounds of fate, but there is a treacherous journey ahead for the Fateless One. With divided factions and warrior insurgents with their own agendas, the escalation of pure evil in the war-torn land will challenge and ultimately shape the hero's destiny.
All right, and we're back with Beast Mode. Tom and Marco are taking it to the Stranded, and they've already succeeded in doing some pretty brutal murder. So let's take a look at what they've been doing.
I feel good about murdering these folks.
Yes?
Yeah.
You do? You like the table?
It's definitely a lot easier than being murdered.
It's certainly a lot more pleasant. So
it is a little bit more pleasant.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So Tom is on the bottom, and he is playing as a savage drone or something.
Yeah.
You're playing as a drone, basically. Controls like you're playing a cog. Marco, I want you to take a left here, actually. Go around in the center. Never mind, you don't know where you're going. Go to the right. U-turn. Yes, go that way. That way. Follow that fence. Yep, and now hook up to the right.
That's left.
Yep, up there, yeah.
That is in fact a Coltrane
Go,
poster.
yeah. See, there's a lady right over there. Go murder her. Whoa. Just run straight. Yeah, attack. Yeah, more. Yeah, there's one more. Now run up, keep running. It's up to you. Greeno. Hurry up. You gotta kill her. She's right there.
Do we win?
Keep going.
No, there's more.
You get more time with each kill. You get seconds added to do more heinous murder. Oh yeah, he's right there. You gotta get him. Nicely done.
So one thing I will notice about this mode is it's kind of frustrating running through these barricades.
Right?
Right, because they slow you down and you can barely move and there's like blood splurting up everywhere and you're like, oh my god, I'm being shot and
you're like, can't I just dive roll over these or something?
I don't see why I can't just jump.
But no, you walk into it and then just go, ow, ow,
why?
Ow. Oh, someone's kicking it up a notch.
You gotta show it off.
Marco, who are you playing as right now?
I'm a butcher.
Okay, you're walking pretty slow, so can you run as a butcher? I don't know. Maybe he would break into a light jog.
It's burning calories.
Go back in that center area where you were before. Yeah, right up there.
There's a lot of pressure here, because it's like I'm running around in circles. Maybe I'm just being oblivious.
Greeno, turn around. Yep, walk to the right now, off to the right. Yes, down past that fence is probably where you want to go.
No?
Yep, there's probably some dudes down there. Yep, there's one shooting at you. Nice, kill one. Marco's only a little bit on fire, but he's swinging that cleaver. Oh, jibbly jibs. Hey,
yeah,
you got some hits in, got some more seconds on the clock. As Greeno painfully slogs his way through a barrier.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, barrier. It hurts so bad. Oh, he's right there next to you.
I know, I'm stuck.
Oh, and Marco has spawned it. Marco, you gotta hustle, man. You guys are running out of time. Greeno, you better get some kills.
Got you. No, I don't have you. There.
Yeah, nice.
Now I have you. Oh.
No. Ooh. Nope. Oh, you're going the wrong way, Marco. Yeah, get up in there. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think you guys are gonna get there in time. Oh, Tom, you're riding the thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And that is what happens when we fail around in Beast Mode, gentlemen. You get Hammer of Dawn!
Okay.
Speaking of the Hammer of Dawn, I don't know if you folks know, but last week we put together a little thing called the GUNSHOW on Gears of War 3, highlighting all the weapons and executions that you can do with each individual weapon. It's a pretty great time, if I do say so myself, and it's really, really bloody. So while these guys try to wage some more war against the humans, we're going to teach you how to best wage war against the Locust in the GUNSHOW. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the GUNSHOW. the show in which we talk about the guns that kill the things that are trying to kill you. Our second episode is all about Gears of War 3, the climactic finale of Epic's burly and brutal third-person shooter series. They may not look flashy, but these guns get the job done for our brave Gears on the front lines and deliver some of the goriest executions in gaming. Blood and guts abound on this episode of The Gun Show. First up, it's the gun that launched 1,000 jibs, the icon of the Gears of War series, the old rev 'em and rip 'em, the Lancer. If you don't recognize this assault rifle served with a side of chainsaw, then you must have been living under a rock for the past 5 years. But if that were the case, then you'd be a locust and would be intimately acquainted with the Lancer. Yes, this is our idea of intimacy. The Lancer is a deadly and versatile weapon, but as always, be careful when charging in with your chainsaw blazing. Savvy enemies can interrupt your assault with a few bullets or by shouting at you, and the new lambent drones are all too happy to explode all over your nice sleeveless armor. Take your sweet revenge by downing a locust and performing the new Lancer-specific execution. Go on, get in there! Yeah! Gears of War 3 also lets you wield an earlier model of this famous firearm. The retro Lancer is like the Lancer's ornery grandpa. Back in my day, we had to run across the entire battlefield uphill under heavy enemy fire and stick our bayonets right up our enemy. Okay, yes, Grandpa, and then we had to lift them right up into the sky like a big bloody hay bale, we know. Skewering enemies can be a risky proposition, but when you are successful, it is super satisfying. The retro Lancer also shoots bullets, of course, and does more damage than its namby-pamby progeny, but you have to contend with decreased accuracy and a hefty recoil. Short, controlled bursts are the best way to bring your locust foes to their knees, so you can do this. They sure don't make them like they used to. When the combat gets close, the close pull out a shotgun, and Gears of War 3 has 2 distinct flavors on offer. The tried and true Nasher shotgun can still jib with the best of them, and if by chance you aren't familiar with the term jib, here are a few examples. Jib, 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 and jib. Getting a feel for the Nasher's range is important because beyond 10 paces or so, it's just not effective. Look for blood splatter on impact and listen for squishy bullet noises to gauge how well your shots hit. Look for a downed enemy's head and listen for the appreciative applause from the golf spectators to gauge how well your execution went. The second shotgun, the one that's new to Gears of War 3, is the sawed-off shotgun. No need to figure out the range on this one, it only works when you are very, very close. And when it works, it is very, very effective, even on multiple enemies. Now you see them, now you wear them. The sawed-off takes a long time to reload, so don't plan on firing 2 shots into the same foe. If you miss, get the heck out of there and live to fight another day. Or, die horribly. And here's an interesting bit of trivia. The sawed-off's unique execution was recently rated most likely to make you slip a disc in Cog Health Quarterly magazine. Another weapon that is oh so good for CQC is the Scorcher. An advancing enemy is scary. An advancing enemy spewing fire is wet yourself scary. Don't be embarrassed, it's a defense mechanism. Totally natural. The Scorcher is certainly intimidating, but as long as you keep some distance, you'll barely get your eyebrows singed. If you are too close, then you're gonna die in a fire. Unless... Extinguisher time! Extinguisher time! Extinguishing the flames and making a rhyme! Oh yeah! If only. When you manage to grab a Scorcher, wait until you're close to an enemy to pull it out, and then charge in there and light them up. The Scorcher execution illustrates why cremation is performed at special facilities and not right there on the battlefield. Yucky. Shifting gears to more long-range weaponry, let's take a look at the Hammerburst. This gun is more accurate than the Lancer, making it better suited for dealing with enemies at mid to long range. It's the only gun without a scope that lets you aim down the sights, and it's great for shooting that bit of your enemy that's sticking out from behind cover, or taking down a big bad from a distance, or targeting the spawn pods on a lambent stock, as your allies are so fond of suggesting. Despite the slower fire rate, itchy trigger fingers can get plenty of rounds out of the Hammerburst in a short amount of time, so be wary when closing the distance in multiplayer. Once your bullets have done their work, it's time for the gun stock to take over. And over. And over. And over. And over. And over. For even longer range kills, it's right there in the name, the long shot. This Sarin sniper rifle does some serious damage and can burst a locust's head like a ripe pumpkin. Like a whole pack hatch full of scaly, snarling pumpkins. The long reload time makes nailing the active reload even more crucial, lest you get stuck cursing and whacking your gun instead of downing and then whacking your enemies like you're trying to ring a bell at a carnival. How about a nice big stuffed ticker for the lucky winner? If you prefer laser sights over magnified scopes, then the torque bow has got your name all over it. Not literally, I mean, those unlockable and downloadable weapon skins are only for your basic guns, but, you know, it's the gun you want. Once you've pried it from a Locust's cold, dead hands, take aim and charge it up with the right trigger to see exactly where your explosive bolt will land. You can release the trigger at any point to fire, but unless you charge it up all the way, your shot may not penetrate as deeply as you'd like, and you may fail to achieve your goal of putting your enemy's inside parts on the outside. Fortunately, you can charge it without aiming, so that when you do aim, you'll already be at full strength. A fully charged torque bow shot will kill most enemies in one hit, and the execution, well, it's pretty clear what that does. 2 more explosive weapons lend your arsenal some much-needed boom. Starting, of course, with the boom shot. This big guy is as straightforward as they come. It's a grenade launcher, it launches grenades, and if thine aim be true, the grenades kill 1 or more of your enemies. It also packs a pretty decent melee punch. The heavy projectiles have a slightly arcing trajectory that can help you splatter foes behind cover, but the ultimate cover neutralizer is the Digger Launcher. New for Gears of War 3, the Digger Launcher shoots plucky little explosives that tunnel under the ground, then pop up and explode all up in your enemy's business. Take aim to see where your ordnance will hit, and then hope your enemies don't notice the ominous trail on the ground heading straight for them. Neither of these weapons carries a lot of ammo, but hey, executions don't need ammo, right? Right, guys? Yeah. That's it for the guns you can equip, so now we're gonna, what would you say? Pistols? Right, pistols. There are totally pistols, but, alright, let's make this quick. The snub pistol is your default sidearm and can be handy in a pinch, but come on. Chairman Prescott packs one of these things, and that guy is a total weenie. The Gorgon pistol is much better and works more like a miniature submachine gun. The high fire rate makes it great for close quarters meat shield battles, and hey, execution! Finally, there's the Boltok pistol. The magnum of the Gears of War world, this bad Larry can be used for all kinds of things, like bursting skulls, managing hostage situations, shooting switches, killing a Brumac, and even putting baby down for nap time. What? A baby corpser, guys. I meant a baby corpser. Jeez. The Boltok is a powerful sidearm that you shouldn't pass up. Pistol whip! We'll conclude this episode of The Gun Show with a quick rundown of those big, heavy weapons you find from time to time that can really change the tide of a conflict and cause all sorts of carnage. Meet the Mulcher! Chew 'em up and spit 'em out with this cranktastic machine gun. Mount it on some cover for improved aiming, or just fire it from the hip like the action hero you are. Execution! The Vulcan! Because any machine gun that takes only 1 man to fire is for sissies! The Vulcan delivers an absolute deluge of death to anyone downrange, and is the only gun you need to recruit a teammate to help you with. Get over here and load my gun, gear! Execution! Too many bullets for an execution! The Mortar! Rain hot holy death on your enemies and take out entire groups at once! Execution! The One-Shot! How did it get that name? Are you seriously asking me that question? I didn't think so! Mount, aim, destroy, execution! The Cleaver! Technically not a gun, but still a heavy execution! The Hammer of Dawn! Handheld orbital death with, surprise, an execution! And with that, it's over! Which execution was your favorite? What is your preferred multiplayer loadout? How many ones could a one-shot shoot if a one-shot could shoot ones? Comment, people! And hey, extinguish your time! Extinguish your time! Extinguishing the flames and making a rhyme! Oh yeah! Thanks for watching The Gun Show! I mean, I love The Gun Show, but every time I watch it, I just think, back to when my parents wouldn't let me have G.I. Joes in the house because they had guns and they didn't want me to play with guns. And now I just talk about how much I love video game guns for a living. Delightful.
Joke's on you, Pops.
Setting a bad example for the young ones.
Yeah, no, you know, it's
funny example.
Video games. I can clearly divorce that from reality. Nice job. By the way, you guys have been missing some good murder. Marco had a very nice double kill with a ticker just a moment ago. But the time has arrived to give away some pretty cool trivia stuff. First up, it is this gnarly locust head that, I mean, I keep saying gnarly and gross and all this stuff. What you should hear when I say that is really well made and like substantially awesome.
Kind of looks like Homer.
Do you see the
mostly in the teeth
there?
In the teeth.
Yep,
it's fair.
In the forehead.
It's kind of that the tiny little ear holes.
Yeah,
that's nice. So if you want to win this number 6 of 500 locust head, here is the question you are going to have to answer. Name the medals awarded to Adam and Marcus Phoenix by the Coalition of Ordered Governments. Of course, as always, you submit your answer by using the submit question button on the side of the page, or send them in an email to onthespot@gamespot.com. Include your name and address so we can know where to send this little beauty. You want to check that out again? There it is. Oh, yeah, delightful. All right, our second prize is, there's a bit more of them, a bit more regional specific though, because coming up in October is the Game Developers Conference in Austin, Texas. And we are giving away 25 passes to GDC Austin, and you could win them. These passes include access to 2 days on the show floor, exclusive events, and entry into the Game Developers Choice Online Awards ceremony. There are 25 of these passes, and if you want to win one, here's the question you're going to have to answer. Who is the host of the 2011 GDC Awards? Use the submit question button on the side of the page, or send us an email at onthespot@gamespot.com with your answer, and 25 lucky winners in the Austin area over the age of 18 will be going to GDC. Now, if you're not around there and you're not going to be able to make it, fear not, because GameSpot has an exclusive deal with GDC to broadcast their awards ceremony live, so you can hear all the exciting awards out of the Game Developers Conference on October 12th, starting at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, I believe. That's usually how we do our times here.
I've been to that show. It's a good show.
Yeah?
Mostly online stuff, a little game writing. If you're interested in getting in the industry, totally want to answer that trivia
Good
question.
place to go?
Good place to go.
So not just for game developers anymore?
No, not so much. But
are you going, Tom?
No, we are sending Brendan Sinclair to cover that for us.
Brendan Sinclair down there?
Yeah.
He used to live in Texas, right?
He went to University of Texas, much to his shame.
Really? He's not a proud. It's not a proud alma mater like you and
Ohio State. Well, I think I just bear a grudge. There was like a national champion. I don't really want to talk about it.
Okay, take out your rage.
It's not OU, Chris.
It's the Ohio.
The
We had that established in a court of law.
I tell you, folks, you got to tread lightly when you talk college football around these crowds, because
Hey,
they will string you up. All right, that is the end of our trivia giveaways for today. But we have a pretty awesome opportunity for folks in the Bay Area. If you've been on the site lately, you probably have seen it advertised. But we are hosting a Battlefield 3 early deployment beta tournament on Monday afternoon. Evening, really. And it's free. You just have to RSVP, and you can totally come to the GameSpot offices, and the first 48 people in line will participate in a Battlefield 3 tournament that I will be at and really jealous of and not playing. If you want to get in on that, you can go to Eventbrite. I forgot to write down the URL.com. There it is, earlydeployment.eventbrite.com. Thank you, Justin Porter, coming to my rescue there. That is available for you to RSVP. Come join us. Everyone who comes and plays will get a PS3 beta key, and the winning team will get gift certificates to GameStop in the amount of $50, which almost pays for a game. Well, it does pay for a game if you're buying a 3DS title. All right, gentlemen, let's check in one more time with the beast mode before we wrap it up. How's it going?
I'm quite dead.
You have been retro-lanced.
I did was...
Meanwhile, Marco is just really bludgeoning a lady.
The Mauler, I feel like, is an underused... Can I destroy this stuff?
Come on, Marco.
I'm trying to. God damn it.
No, I can't.
Get angry. Wow.
I want to curse.
I'm not entirely sure I can make it through
I
here.
appreciate your self-restraint. You totally got dead. Come on, squish them.
There we
Don't
go.
be on fire.
Am I on fire? Is that me?
You were mildly on fire.
I'm a mauler.
Turn right, Margot. Yeah, right there.
Oh, there she is.
Vengeance is yours.
No, that's not me. Oh my God.
Oh, Gears of War 3.
Oh. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you for coming in to play that, and thank you folks for watching from home. Remember, trivia questions galore and the Battlefield 3 event on Monday all await you here at GameSpot, and a new episode of On the Spot next week. Why, yes. Yes, indeed. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone back there in the studio, and hope you folks have a great weekend.